Yeah, exactly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Shills show as we celebrate the return to active duty in the debunking community of BM Furball. Woohoo! All right. So let's not fuck around with any bullshit, and let's just get right around and see what everybody's up to. And Logical, why don't you start us off, buddy? What's happening in Cave Town?
It's just same old crap that you see every day on YouTube. I'm gonna be hanging out here for about 45-ish minutes, and then I'm gonna have to pop off. I'm gonna be going live with Jay Brown in a little while because, well, somebody decided to beak off at me, misrepresent something I said, and well, we just decided we were gonna set that record straight.
Slappy time, is it, maybe?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out.
All right. Working the controls tonight, we've got Bullionator. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. I'm excited to be doing the show.
Hello,
got a couple.
Mr. Boole.
Got too many mute buttons. Got too many mute buttons. I'm excited. Good. I'm excited to be doing this show. The audience heard me. Y'all didn't. So we gotta work on that. But yeah. So there we go.
That's funny.
It is funny, but we got couple good videos to go tonight, and I'm looking forward to them. To be honest with you.
Awesome. Yeah, me as well. But before we give the gag away, let's get finished around. Aimee, how's it going, honey? What's happening your way tonight?
Oh, it's all good. Everything's all straightened out here, and everything's good. I'm excited for a good show tonight. I can't wait. It's great to have BM Furball back. I'm so happy. And thank you, everybody, for coming on today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Speaking of everybody who joined, we've got Blue Marble Science. Oh, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing?
No, doing great. How you doing, guys? It's cold here in East Tennessee, so I'm trying to stay warm by beating on Flurfs.
Great way to generate warmth. I love it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We got a couple of really cool videos lined up. I'm going to spring the titles in a minute, but still a surprise.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Boy.
Oh yeah. And there's a voice we got to get to right now. We've got AT2 Productions with us too. Jared, how you doing, buddy?
I'm actually getting full. These pancakes are fucking wonderful.
Yeah, I've been wondering what you're doing behind me there. I mean, get your hands off my hips.
Shh, just take it. You should be used to that by now anyways. Especially with where you're at.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? Although, Dick, I do have to say, I am slightly disappointed at one thing. You have the X-Wing, you have the transporters, and then you zoom in on the San Francisco Bay Area. Where the hell was Starfleet Command? Come on now.
I knew you were going to do that to me live, you son of a bitch. But I never thought of it. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking so stupid right now. I can't believe it. Because you're right. It should have been. It absolutely should have been. That's an awesome idea.
You could have zoomed in on literally any other city on the entire planet and never heard this. But no, you go to Starfleet headquarters and show the mall.
Yeah, well, this is what I get for stealing the wrong video to use and mutilate for my own devices, right?
Yeah,
too
much.
Funny. Well, speaking of which, let's get to the man who is back in action and ready to kick some ass. BM Furball, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me back on. It's good to be back on the internet, and my life is in a kind of a semblance where I can actually pay attention to stupid again.
Oh, awesome. Because we've got some good stupid lined up. Oh, I can't wait. So, being back home, you're mostly settled at least, like things are coming along good?
Mostly-ish, back to work-ish. Jared knows the excitement of my life. I want to push that button, but I'm not going to push the button, I swear to God.
But which one? There are so many to choose from.
Oh, that's not a button that goes out on air.
Yeah.
I'll share that with the panel later. But we're probably like 80% unpacked. And tomorrow, finally, all of my shit finally gets here from Korea.
Oh, I bet you can't wait. You can't wait. Now, we know that in Korea you were doing some really good work for the community. Can we expect any of that to continue coming up?
That is the hope and the goal. I don't know when I'm going to be able to start back up, but as soon as I've got my office set up and I get the rest of my computer equipment and audio and video equipment, I won't be nearly as active as I was before, but I would like to still contribute, and I will definitely be dropping in on you guys for the great shows.
Excellent. Love it. So, speaking of shows, what are we going to do tonight with such a fantastic panel? Well, we've got YouTube channel Flatwater. I don't even know what they are, but I mean, Flatwater, you know it's going to be bullshit, right? And they have their video, If Nukes Were Real, This Is How They'd Work. I'm not kidding. That's what it says.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. And then we're going to get Aimee Hogan really riled up because we've got Nathan Bullshit Out of My Fucking Mouth Thompson with a video entitled Vaccines Are Poison and Injuring Kids.
Already got me started.
Why do you have to go somewhere that's going to get you mad and not just laugh at the stupid?
Well, we're going to laugh, but myself and Aimee having autistic children that we're raising, this is going to be a sore point, and we are seriously going to rip that fucking piece of shit down. It's going to be really good.
Good.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. So let's see here. I'm thinking we better go with nukes first so we can set the tone with a slightly lighter-hearted thing. How does that sound, Bull?
Sounds good. Let me get it started here.
All right. If nukes were real, this is how they'd work. And this is going to be from some absolute piece of trash that can't get his arms off the fucking armchair to even read a book. Oh, I can't wait.
So the next thing we're going to look at is the atomic bomb, number 51. I had a hunch that if my theories were right with the harmonic type of approach to things, then the harmonic bomb must logically have some sort of tie-in with that approach. And going back to Einstein states that the whole of our physical reality is manifested by the geometrics of space and time. And if you think about this logically, if you want to disrupt matter or detonate it like an atomic bomb, logically you must use a geometric process. But you have to set up a process which is in reverse or in opposition to the normal process of matter production. So
wait, what?
Just out of curiosity,
hang on.
Tests.
Has he said anything that actually is resembling a coherent thought yet?
No, I'm lost in it. It's just fluff so far, isn't it, Blue?
Absolutely.
It's almost like he took It's almost like he took random sentences out of a nuclear physics book and put them together into a paragraph.
I'm glad you guys mentioned it because I've been sitting here wondering if I had a freaking stroke or something because I was hearing English words, but nothing was making sense to me. It's like, what happened? You know, I was getting ready to call 911.
Exactly. I thought I was going to have a stroke there for a second. Oh, Aimee has some wonderful things that she better clean up before we get too into things. Aimee, your shot here.
Oh, yes, please. We've got 3 super chats today so far already. The first one is from John Rapp for Australian $5. He says, "This is great. BM Furball and my favorite team doing a stream just for my birthday. Thanks in advance, everyone. I'll be listening in at work. 2 thumbs up. Happy birthday, John Rapp."
Happy birthday, John Rapp. All right.
Exactly. And then we have number 2 is Kuyasa with 5,000 South Korean won. He says, "Paying the Shills tax," and a big salute, Jared.
Yeah, good show. Thanks, man.
Yes. Thank you. And then number 3 is a casual spaceman for £5 sterling. He says, "Welcome back, BM. I'm a big fan. He's a pillar of our community and has more integrity than most of us put together. Can't wait to see his next video." And we just got a 4th one. And then it says, my computer scroll, from Brown01. Thank you so much, Brown01. For Canadian $2.79. Shh, don't tell NASA.
I'll delete my last tweet.
Thanks, Brown. As a
And thank you
Canadian,
so
I
much,
love
everyone.
seeing real money flow. Good job, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support and happy birthday, John.
Oh yeah, right on. Oh, that was great. That was great. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, right. Idiot was talking about bullshit. I remember. Yeah.
No,
Did anybody?
no. Idiot was talking. We're not sure what about.
Yeah.
Right.
He is reading
You're right.
directly from the nuclear physics bullshit generator.
Oh man, can you imagine what FTFE would be saying right now? That'd be
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
Or Steve McRae. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, yeah. There we go. Awesome. Well, let's get a little more ammunition because what in the actual fuck? This is good.
The first thing I did was to check where they actually let a bomb off, to see if there's any harmonics in the actual position of the bomb site. And that goes right back to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What most people don't know, before they dropped those bombs, they were pre-calculated about 9 months in advance. And that didn't matter because the Americans at the time were the only ones that had the secrets, or the only ones that could do this type of technology. So they could just wait for as long as they liked to work it all out first and then go over and drop the bombs when the time was right. And not only that, they picked the best bomb aimers, the best crews, and everything was the best. They had those crews out in the desert for 3 months dropping bombs into, I think it was 300-foot circles from 30,000 feet to get accuracy. And logically, that's not necessary. Just a normal crew should be able to drop a bomb over the side of us, an atomic bomb. It didn't have to be right square.
Wait a minute.
Pause. Stop.
Get him.
Holy
Jared.
fucking shit, dude. Do you not realize why carpet bombing was a thing even into the 70s? Because it actually is exceptionally fucking difficult to drop a munition from any altitude on the exact point you want to. There's a reason why there's a special branch of them called precision munitions, guided munitions. They actually need to have the control surfaces to move in such a way to actually hit the target that they want with the accuracy intended to mitigate collateral damage. And keep in mind, fuckstick, the one that was dropped on Hiroshima, they missed their target.
No shit. I was hoping you were going to bring it up because if not, I had that on the tip of my tongue. It didn't even 100% hit, for the love of God. Like when you're that high up in a plane, it's not like the thing has propulsion like a missile and it's, guided into it. It's just falling. Holy shit, man. Jesus.
I want to add that when the military trains, they have doctrine on how they train. So there is one way to shoot a gun. There is one way to drop a bomb, and you practice the shit out of it. Now, just because you have a bomb that's a fuck ton more explosive doesn't mean you throw all that training out the window. And it also doesn't mean that all those training where they were trying to hit a 300-foot circle in the desert would have been just scratched because we're just going to be dropping atomic bombs now. We don't need to worry about accuracy anymore.
And even then, even then, most of the practice wasn't so much the process of dropping the munition. What it was is they were giving the bombardier even more training and more familiarization with the Norton bomb sight, which, yes, at the time was the most accurate bomb sight in use by any combatant during World War II. But guess what? It wasn't fucking perfect.
Yeah.
In the first place, trying to hit a 300-foot circle from 6 miles away looks like a fucking period.
Yeah.
You can barely see the goddamn thing. And there's another little issue. Mission 1 is drop the bomb. Mission 2 is don't blow your ass up in the process. That's what those guys were doing. They were figuring out how the hell they were going to get far enough away from it not to destroy the damn airplane.
And I want to take a poll. I want to ask Bull, can you bring it back to the video without playing it? I just want to see the guy for a second. Okay, everybody guess how many people are in the audience in front of him. I'm guessing 3.
Oh no,
I was
two.
guessing one, two.
Wait. Are we including the person who is turning off and on the camera?
But yeah.
No, because that could be him. That could just be
Two.
him.
It's true. We didn't see him walking away from the camera. He's just good at editing.
I'm saying two.
Yeah.
Two.
I'm sorry, Logical. I stepped on you. What'd you have to say?
Nah, I was gonna say you guys hit all my points except one. You know, at the time of what he's talking about, yeah, part of the training and making sure they actually hit their fucking target is because they only had 2 atomic bombs at that point. It wasn't like we had a whole fucking arsenal. Oh, we missed. Let's go back and try again. You know, they had to make sure that that shit was gonna do what it was supposed to do, where it was supposed to do it. You know, so why wouldn't you train more?
Yeah, you don't get to call a mulligan when you're dropping an atomic bomb.
When did this jackass film this damn thing anyway? I mean, he looks like the Nutty Professor in 1952 or something.
Well,
you know?
I was going to say, judging by the way he is dressed and the quality of the film, my guess is the presentation he's giving is anywhere from the late 60s to early 70s.
Yep. That was going to be my guess, too.
I'm down with that.
So, well, that just, hey, we just got evidence that stupid is not a new phenomenon. It's been with us a long fucking time.
Exactly. Hey, I'm seeing some good news here. Our very own, absolutely kick-ass Shills, Steaming Cup of Reason, is joining the meet right now as we speak. All right.
Welcome.
Hey. How's it going, Steaming Cup? What's happening, brother? Oh, for the love of God, I always do that too early. I can't get it right.
Hey, everybody knows we're the most highly organized show on YouTube. Come on.
There you go.
Exactly.
How you doing?
Background noise there, Jeff.
Yeah, we got a hell of an echo.
That should be gone now.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Awesome.
All good. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you guys?
Excellent here.
Awesome. Sorry, I've been a little bit dark lately. Stuff to deal with, but I was just watching the show so far. Who the fuck is this cockwomble? What the hell is his problem, man? Holy
Professor
shit!
Dipstick from I bullshit you.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, what the fuck? Where's his brain at? I mean, not practicing for a bomb drop of that magnitude. Are you fucking stupid?
Well,
they want to drop the thing on the target for maximum effect. If they don't practice, that thing's going to land into some fucking rice paddy 100 miles away, and the Japanese are going to be saying there, hey, you missed, you blind cocksuckers.
Well, now, and speaking of that, out in the live chat, Ash Scott asked, I don't get why they never dropped one a mile off the coast of Tokyo and drop a shitload of leaflets saying the next one lands on the Emperor. Ash, shortly after, well, we're looking a few months after the attack on Pearl Harbor. One of the first things that the U.S. actually did was found a way to use a sizable amount of B-25 Mitchell bombers from the flight deck of the USS Hornet to do a bombing run on Tokyo, the Doolittle raid. And that was us actually on our initial punch back. It was more of a jab. It wasn't a haymaker, but it was a, hey, we can hit you too.
Yeah, which was basically the same net effect as what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, saying watch out or the next one will be on the Emperor.
Well, and just to bring a little point here, a nuclear mushroom cloud is probably going to incinerate any leaflets you put inside the bomb. Just saying.
Yeah.
Wait. But what would happen if we used a nuclear vessel?
Nuclear weapon.
That's a good one.
That is a great point too. When they used to tell us that duck and cover crap and make us hide under our wooden desks, I kept wondering, why am I hiding under a pile of kindling during a nuclear attack.
What the fuck good is it gonna do you? It's basically lean over you and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
I know,
And to answer that question in all seriousness, they wouldn't use a whistle because then they would have to whistle while they work, and soldiers and sailors and airmen just don't do that. It's not manly to whistle while you work.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
funny.
for dwarves.
Amy's got
I've
a
got
bit
an
from the
answer
chat
to
here
why.
for us all. Oh, sorry, guys. Amy's got a couple for us here.
Thank you. I've got the real non sequitur. He says, I'm afraid to ask, but is he an Aussie? The casual spaceman says to Blue Marble, hey, Blue, get making that nuclear physics bullshit generated with FTFE so we can all have fun with it, please. Ash Scott says it didn't destroy the whole city. There were survivors a couple 100 feet from ground zero. They wanted to hit the important shit, not the damn suburbs. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties says it's probably just his wife in the audience rolling her eyes and saying, damn it, Jim, you said you were taking me to dinner.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's awesome. And Sean Carroll says, add on top of that the bomb was dangerously powerful. There are side effects to consider with nukes.
Very much true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good shout. Good shout.
And what I want to know is if we have a nuclear bullshit generator, that means the fuel is cow patties. What the fuck are the control rods made out of?
Bull hard-ons?
That would be a good question.
We gotta
Although
fix that.
something that actually just came to mind, I think some people would be surprised to know actually what the smallest aircraft that was in the U.S. inventory for many a decade that was actually nuclear weapons capable. Some of y'all might be surprised.
I don't think I really know that.
Is it like a biplane or something like that?
No, well, it's about the size of one. It's the A4 Skyhawk. That little that little rinky-dinky shit. The reason why its landing gear is orientated the way it is was with such a high nose when it's on the ground is because they needed to give that room under the center line to put a nuclear warhead. And the way it would actually deploy it would come in low and fast, get close to the target area, go into a rapid climb, and towards the top of the climb is when it would actually release the weapon. That way it's literally throwing the nuclear bomb up and then turning tail and running before it goes off behind it.
Wow, cool. Let me just jump in here quick, guys, because DeadKennedyInSpace himself, Kevin Kennedy, is with us again tonight. How's it going, buddy? If I could speak, that would have gone better, but how you doing?
Yeah, you want to take another run at that, Mr. Dawson?
Yeah, holy fuck, eh? I've screwed up a couple things already tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, DeadKennedyInSpace himself, Kevin Kennedy, is here with the panel. How you doing, buddy? There, fuck me.
I'm hanging in there. I speaking of bombs dropping and shit, I sort of feel like I'm ducking for cover at the moment, but I'm hanging in there.
that put a South Park spin on it. That's right, duck and cover, and then the lava would just
go right over you.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
Blue had mentioned earlier about the duck and cover videos and what the good is hiding underneath a pile of kindling. The entire purpose of the duck and cover videos was not for you, the person who realizes they're about to die. It's for the idiots that don't realize they're about to die and prevent them all from being idiots and killing each other until they die from the bomb.
Yeah,
that's right.
True. That is true.
Yep, that's too funny. The ones that are dumb enough to listen, well, okay, we got them out of the way. Now we can see what we can do about saving ourselves.
Yeah, you guys get under the desks. I'm getting in the bomb shelter.
Oh, too funny. Well, since we got a couple of latecomers, should we play a little bit more of the video? And, you guys wait, because Kevin's going to snap.
You have to.
Oh, I didn't know we had a video.
Oh, yeah. This guy's, what was the title again? If nukes were real, this is what they would look like.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, let's do it.
All righty.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry,
Munitions.
Kevin. Yeah, don't worry, Kevin. He hasn't really said anything yet.
Could have been anywhere
not
in the
likely
city and
to.
would have done the same job. but they had to have it accurate, and it was well timed, had to be timed right. And this is all on public record, but you've got to put all the little bits together. And they had to be over the site at a certain point, and then they run in from that point and timing it to the fraction of a second all the way along. And what they actually did in the end was drop that bomb through a time zone. And I'll explain that more as I go along. How they can detonate a bomb, it took me weeks to sort of figure it all out. First of all, it was the bomb site. The actual position where they detonated the bomb had to be harmonically tuned, or harmonic point. The bomb itself,
Harmonic?
you read that in any science magazine, the bomb is made geometrically. It's a geometric device. It's all very well...
Everything's made
worked out to
geometrically.
be very precisely.
Yeah.
The actual
Fucking
size
wheel
of
is made
the,
geometrically.
Some things aren't
material
shapes.
has to
Come on.
be a certain size and volume and everything else, and it's got to come together at the right time. And everything you look at about the bomb is all geometric. But there was one little bit that it took me a while to find out, and in the end I figured out it must have something to do with the geometry of the solar system. Because if it appeared that the whole process was a process of relative motion. In other words, if you think of an atom with an electron spiraling around it, what you have to do is make that electron fly off at a tangent. So you've got to have all the different motions that affect the bomb at the instant of detonation all going in the right direction, so that that will cause, when they push it all together, will cause that electron to fly off at a tangent. We're just taking one atom. And I thought, well, the only thing I can look at is the position of the sun at the time of detonation.
There's nothing in this that makes the littlest bit of sense.
Yeah, let's pause that a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the?
Okay, hold on. First, let me just add this before you guys rip them apart. Hey, asshole. Buddy Holly called and he wants his fucking image back. Jesus Christ.
9 o'clock hero, I think, has it. Did this guy invent the flurf language?
It sounds it.
Yeah, we may be
certainly
looking
sounds
at
it.
we may be looking at patient 0 for Flurpies. I don't know, but what the fuck is he talking about? Jesus Christ! Like Kevin said in the background, a wheel is made geometrically, and yeah, it's a complicated thing because fucking nuclear engineers and physicists are fucking smart. They can figure this shit out. I mean, I almost said it's not rocket science, but god damn.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
I mean, you need
this is
precise geometry in the way the implosion happened to make
Right.
sure that it triggers actual reaction. But other than that, he hasn't said one thing that's worth scrap.
You know what he reminds me of? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he seems to be implying that the detonation of a nuclear device has anything to do with the relative positions of the stars or the sun.
Oh.
That's like, no. Just no.
Yeah, let's see. We gotta have Venus in ascendant with Pisces, while the moon is in Virgo and the sun is shining up your fucking ass before we can drop this nuclear bomb. So third Thursday after tomorrow, we'll take care of this for you, buddy.
Wait a minute. Is that what the fuck he meant by they had to drop it through a time zone?
I thought I misheard that.
No,
No.
I'm afraid you didn't.
Oh, no, that's what he said.
I have to correct my prior statement. Earlier, I said that it sounds like this guy took random sentences out of a physics book and put them into a paragraph. No, he took individual sentences out of a physics book, out of a math book, out of a geometry book, astronomy, astrology, and probably like 5 others.
Don't forget
Individual
Reader's.
sentences,
Hang on. Don't
and
forget Reader's Digest.
and then put all of those random ordered into a paragraph, and that's what we just listened to.
Yeah. And I bet you his closing statement will be from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No.
No, he's not that smart.
No. I will not let him sully that great book.
You know what he reminds me of? Has anyone ever seen that video? The missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. Has anyone ever seen that?
No, that's
No.
It's fucking hilarious. It's the most like nonsense video ever. It's describing like an ICBM, and it's like the missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation.
You know, if we really want to get into the actual mechanics of that aspect of this, give me a few minutes. I can bring someone on who is quite familiar with the process of how a missile actually knows where it is and how it knows the direction that it's going.
Yeah, I'm almost a little concerned for Kevin that he actually has that blurb memorized, that he can whip that off without stuttering. Fuck me. I need another beer after hearing that shit.
Logical. Don't forget, every one of us has our favorite stupid that we can quote at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
This guy might be my new favorite.
Maybe it's time for me to call my therapist again. I don't know. I might need a checkup now. Thanks, Jared. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm here all week.
Too good. I'm in the background just taking care of something here quick because I got to switch over to studio and fix somebody who's pissing around in the chat here. So sorry, guys. I'll just be quiet for 1 sec.
Yeah,
mark that on your calendars.
I'm trying to put together the actual thought process he's trying to convey because I don't quite understand it because it is a stitching of like 10 different thoughts.
I'm sure you could stitch that together, but we'd have to remove 3/4 of your brain, and that's a bit of a painful process to open up your skull and do that, and you're eventually going to want it back, so it might be more trouble than it's worth.
I have an idea on what he's actually alluding to be the foundation of everything. It seems like he's trying to connect Einstein's general and special relativity with spirit science's favorite subject, sacred geometry.
But what does that have to do with the solar system and timing it right so the atom or the electrons are ejected at the right moment?
Well, it's the same thing as me being your father's brother's cousin's uncle's former college roommate.
May the Lord be with you.
Hey guys, sorry here. Sorry guys, Amy's been waiting to get in with some chat stuff. Let's get her in for a minute here.
Thank you. I've got a super chat here from Mr. Victory for $20 US. He says, "Can somebody tell Ranty that we found his dad? Is it me or does he sound like Ranty?"
Little bit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little bit. Yeah.
Certainly rants like Ranty.
He does. Ash Scott says, "I'm not saying drop the leaflets and the bomb in the same place, just that once you're the first side to have the nukes, you can basically win without having to destroy a city full of innocent people. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties." Says, "My dad should be here. He worked on nuclear weapons during Vietnam Cold War and could tell us more than we want to know." Lukey Boy the Larry Lion says, "Didn't they radio or get a message to it was Hirohito or Japanese general a warning, then the Americans were ignored? And so then they dropped the next one, was it Little Boy?" And then Glober Mom says, "We had duck and cover in school when I grew up, but for earthquakes. I realize how futile that is when my desk was a tiny one with no front legs." And then Thoughts by Jay Brown says, "Did he say they dropped the bomb through a time zone?" Ash Scott says, "If you're caught in the open in a nuclear war, rig up a temporary shelter using your shirt and some sticks. The SAS Survival Handbook. Guy who wrote that has never slept with the light off."
Wow.
So there we go.
So to the question about the communication between the U.S. and Japan prior to both the Fat Man and Little Boy being dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, yes, the Japanese government was warned. Hirohito wanted to actually concede at that point, but his generals were like, nope, they're just blustering. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And even then, there was actually, even though, yes, it did attack a lot of civilians, there was actually a reasonable thought process behind why they ended up using the nuclear devices in the manner that they did. And think about it this way. Would you rather have a few hundred civilian and military casualties, or would you rather be dealing with 2 to 3 million? Because up to that point, every island hopping invasion that the U.S. had done throughout the entirety of the Pacific campaign, the casualty estimates, so not just death, but also injuries, the total casualty estimates were at best 50% of what it actually took to make the progress that they were. So the initial estimates for an invasion of the home islands of Japan put the number of casualties between 3/4 and just over 1 million casualties on the Allied side alone. And with their track record of being roughly 50% off on each step, which do you think made the most sense just purely by the numbers? Sorry, drop the bomb.
Absolutely. Don't forget, we had just been through that bloodbath in Okinawa, and there wasn't any question about what was going to happen when you tried to invade the main part of Japan. And Hiroshima and Nagasaki were both lower tier military targets, both had military installations, but neither one of them had been subject to conventional bombing raids.
Well, the reason for that actually is they were initially on the list, but then the higher ups in the U.S. command took them off the regular bombing list because they actually wanted to get a true estimate of how powerful were these devices. They pretty much wanted them to hit an unmolested target area.
Exactly.
And we just had the Illuminati alert us to the presence of a super chat. We have John Rapp donated 2 million space bucks, which equates to $2 Australian. He says, "Derp, derpity derpness, gobbledygook, faw, atomic."
And I would just like to point out that in the last 2 minutes of what Jared said, there's more intelligent thought than in the next 5 hours of what this guy would say.
Only 5 hours?
Well, I haven't heard any intelligent thought yet.
Oh.
Should we find
Anybody
out
else
if there's 5 hours left?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask that, Bull.
Well,
Unless anybody else has got more slapping to do on the
Crack another
stupid.
beer.
Buckle your seatbelts because I think he's about to try to write something.
Oh,
no. Okay.
Oh, that could be painful.
Yeah, very.
All right.
This is the actual Earth, and the sun's out here. Well, you probably all know that the
at least
sun
he has the right
in its
shape.
orbit, it goes spiraling around from the north.
Could you
down
use
to
a
the
marker
south.
that actually
Every
draws?
6 months, it goes up and down. It's spiraling from up in the area here. It spirals down, goes through the equator, and it's around here sometime. So if we say the atomic site is there, what I had to do was work out the geometric triangle, latitude and longitude between the points. Now, if we got the sun there, what happens if you take this right from the sun? We imagine that's the centre of the Earth. It's all a long way out, I know, but overhead sun at the instant of detonation, if you take it through the point on the Earth's surface to the centre of the Earth, well, it gives you a point on the Earth's surface at that instant of time. Of course, that only happens once in that position every year, because the next revolution around the sun will be just down here fractionally, and as it goes down, the same thing here. So
what I'm about to show you is going to change your life forever. The
Damn
demonstration that you're about to see was filmed live.
I've got to work out
Perfect time to
the
pause.
particular bomb they're detonating.
You want to
So they'll be
pause?
tuned in, and
Yes.
God damn it. Okay.
Or, I mean, what the fuck? That is not. That's not how basic global navigation and targeting works. What the fuck does the sun have to do with it? This shit's gonna work whether the sun is out or not. Seriously?
Have you guys ever been walking down the road in a major city where there's a lot of people around you, and randomly a guy walks by ranting to himself, random sentences, like he's having a conversation with someone that's not there, and it's clear that he's insane?
Oh,
This
come
is what
on.
happens. This is what
Hang
happens.
on, hang on.
This is what happens when you put that guy in a suit and put him on a stage.
Oh, come on, Furball. You know we can't talk about Natalie Thompson like that.
Very true.
I've said for years that stupid should be painful. Is that way
It
people
is.
walking around holding their head saying, ow, ow, ow. That's the one to fucking stay away from. Unfortunately, when I asked about that, they made it painful for the wrong individual. Motherfucker.
It would be a great deterrent as well, like you're just walking down the street and you get a little ice cream headache as you think, I should buy a Windstar. Ow.
That's the way it should work, right?
No, if only one of my preferred comedians would actually have turned this into a thing to make it easier on everyone. Oh, that's cute.
I know what you're going to say. I know what. I love this.
Oh, yeah.
Here's your sign.
You got it. That way, when you're walking down the street and you could ask somebody for directions, excuse me, do you know how to get to? Oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't see your sign, and you could go ask somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Well, but this is the 21st century, so I think we ought to get a bunch of doctors and physicists together and create an additive to the vaccines so that when somebody starts to spout stupid shit, their left earlobe starts to glow, a bright neon color. That way just to tell them, shut up, don't want to hear it.
It's like Logan's Run, except for stupid.
Yeah.
It's like a dumb fuck early warning system.
It would be indeed.
That's a hell of a comment we had there from John Rapp. Can I read that out real quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
He tagged the Shills and he said, my grandpa, Army Air Corps, was on the photographic team on a secret Pacific island, Tinian. That developed the post-bomb photographs. It fucking happened.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, and then
Tinian Islands where the Enola Gay, that's where they took off and landed and came back to.
Yep. And actually, to follow that up from Mike Bertelson, reactor kinetics is my area, and I have no earthly clue what this guy is talking about.
We feel your pain, Mike.
Mike's going cross-eyed as we continue on this video.
I can only imagine the pain he's in right now. Linda's sitting there holding him down. It's okay, breathe, honey, breathe.
It's probably almost as bad as a lawyer reading Riley's thesis.
Oh, good one.
Oh, God. Oh.
That actually came later in the stream than I thought it would, talking about Riley and his thesis. But I'm going to take this opportunity now that I have the floor and thank everybody for showing up this evening. Furball, thank you and welcome back to the United States.
Thanks, man.
And gentlemen, the rest of you who have served, thank you for your service. I'm going to bow out, let you enjoy the stupid while I go get ready to play with another stupid.
Don't talk about Jay Brown that way.
Yeah.
I didn't mean Jay. We all know and love Jay. He's a wonderful individual, an upstanding human being.
Salt of the earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
And his
Kayla,
wife likes me, so you know she's good.
Oh, that's funny. Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to watch that after. We'll be all wrapped up in time, and then, we'll send over. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, well, on this note, should we play a little bit more gibberish?
Let's see what other gems this guy can pull out of his sphincter.
Good for a little bit, Levy.
We're very close to halfway through. We're very close to halfway through, so.
It's the next
Okay.
around the tunnel just down here fraction, and as it goes down, same thing here. So they've got to work out the particular bomb they're detonating. It's all got to be tuned in. And I found that if I calculated that triangle, that's the latitude of the bomb site, that's the longitude going up to the sun site. So you've got a perfect spherical triangle on your surface. And after
Does this guy think we drop bombs by way of sextant?
that these actual distances...
Did he also just say spherical triangle?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And in other words, they set the bomb up, everything's ready, it's all armed, ready to go.
Pause.
Yeah, gotta pause it at this point.
Here's the thing. Despite being a debunker of flat Earth, math is not my strong suit. But I'm pretty sure you can't have a spherical triangle.
Tried.
There is the difference between Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry, but that's not where this fuckstick was going.
No,
not even close.
No, he's
not even close.
Talking about spherical trig, I don't think.
He's making things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. While saying that they had to tune the devices is not entirely wrong, it's just not in the way that he's trying to allude to. Because the two different Fat Man and Little Boy were two different types of mechanisms to get the visible material to reach criticality. If I remember right, it was Little Boy was what's called the shotgun type, where the detonation was literally taking a slug internal and shooting it at a sphere of enriched uranium. If I remember right, that was tungsten slug they used?
No, it was a uranium slug.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a uranium slug. Yeah, uranium to uranium.
That's what elevated the mass of uranium to a critical point.
Right. That's how they get a critical mass with that. But you can't do that with plutonium.
No, which is actually, Sean Carroll already alluded to with Fat Man, was the opposite of, another type where it was an implosion, where they literally lined it with C4 to compress it to pretty much do one explosion, then the nuclear explosion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So, this has nothing to do with this video, but it's just a fascinating fact that I think is just awesome. As they were testing Little Boy with the shotgun type, and they had basically a donut of uranium and a slug of uranium on a rod, and they would slide that slug of uranium through the donut and then measure the reactivity of it as it increased the reaction within the uranium.
Crazy.
Do you know what they called that act as they would slide it down the rod at different speeds? Tickling the dragon.
Tickling the dragon. Right.
Yeah. Now going back to
isn't that what that guy was doing with that freaking he was using a screwdriver. He was using a screwdriver. No, so you're talking about the Demon Core. The Demon Core was the one that was used at Bikini Atoll for Able or Baker test, one of those two. I forget which one off the top of my head right now. But what that guy was actually doing when the event you're talking about, Bull, he was showing off and being a jackass by using a flathead screwdriver to bring the two halves of the sphere closer together. Which is universally stupid because it killed him. Well, it ended up killing him because he slipped and dropped it and completed it. So it started to go critical. And if it wasn't for him knocking it back apart afterwards, it would have actually gone super critical and actually had the reaction there in the lab. But instead, he just irradiated the shit out of himself and he was dead a few months later.
Yeah, so any of those acts that where you're casually trying to get to the edge of criticality is a tickling of the dragon's tail, whether you're sliding the slug through the donut or you're bringing two halves of the sphere together until you reach that subcritical point right at the edge. But yeah, the Demon's Core, how many people did it kill, Jared? 2 or 3?
I thought it was 4 or 5. There were a few of the Richard that it got. Granted, it wasn't quick either. Each person that it got was the slow, painful death from pure radiation poisoning.
And now what he was doing, he had 2 halves of beryllium sphere. Is that correct? Because the core itself was inside of the sphere.
Yeah.
And he was using a screwdriver to bring the 2 halves closer and closer together by just twisting the screwdriver. And at a certain point, it would go critical.
Yep.
And he accidentally slipped and pulled the screwdriver out and irradiated the shit out of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Christ, that's rough. I'm sorry, guys. Amy's been waiting a bit to get in. We better get her in here. She's got lots from the viewers.
I do. Thank you. First, I have a super chat from No Doubt. Thank you so much for the support. It's $5 American, and he says, my grandfather plotted the maps of both bombings. It happened. And then we have Roger Rabbit says, Operation Olympus was projected to have over 1 million U.S. casualties and several million Japanese dead. Gary IOW says, AT2 Productions, is it correct that only 0.6 grams of the material detonated in Little Boy Fat Man? I'm sure I read that somewhere. Mr. Victory says he was born in Minot, North Dakota, and the Minot Air Force Base was home to, I think, a third of the national nukes. We did the whole duck and cover drills at school. Yes. And then he says, I'm waiting for him to say the weapon has a soul and we have to save it. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties. That name is long and funny. Well, Fleur of Clothing sort of serves the purpose of a sign. If I see someone wearing a NASA Lies shirt, I know they're brain damaged. And Chris Kritsoulis says to him, how does one damage that which they do not have? And then I had another one here too, right underneath the super chat. He says, Slim Living Cyborg says, play more nonsense. I think he's a crazy man that ran into a science classroom with a camera while no one was looking and wrote on a whiteboard.
That is the most accurate representation of what we've been watching.
Yeah.
How amazing would it be if at the end of the video, like, campus security busts in and drags him away?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
a 1970s version of swatting. It'd be great.
But so I've been thinking about that question that was to me about the 60% thing. I don't think it was that the reaction was 60% of what they expected it to. Hiroshima actually missed the detonation point, and they actually expected a higher damage and casualty rate than what they got. And it was in the range of between 60 and 70% of what they estimated. And it was because they missed the target.
Jared, what I think he's actually asking about is the actual fissile material itself, the core itself. What percentage of the fissile material degraded during the explosion? Not just, dispersed, but actually,
yeah, it's a very, 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 very small percentage.
Yeah, you're talking how much participated in the rapid criticality, the super criticality.
Yeah, you're talking about pounds of
it's
fissionable material, and only ounces or fractions of an ounce of it actually converted to energy.
Which is just absolutely insane when you consider about that.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at other nuclear events that have happened, like if you look at Chernobyl, that was actually a chemical explosion. That wasn't that wasn't even the freaking core going critical. That was just boom. We generated all this radioactive hydrogen, and boom, it went off.
And
blew
part of
the
that
lid off of it.
Well, and part of that really was because of the way the systems and the controls were set up and everything.
Oh, yeah.
In that the core actually was critical. It was in thermal runaway because of how they fucked that test sequence up.
Well, and they chose to moderate it with freaking graphite. Hello, stupid.
That's actually...
That's accurate. That is a huge problem.
Though.
That's a huge problem, though. It is.
The problem was the failure of the cooling system. If their cooling system had actually been controlled properly and functioned properly,
that's
would not have.
That's
what caused the situation.
But they uncovered the fucking core.
But the real problem is if you're not moderating with your coolant and your coolant goes away, your moderation doesn't, it just makes it that much worse.
Once again, over the last 2 minutes, you've gotten more science than you will with an hour of the asshole in the video.
No doubt. Oh,
Speaking of the video, should we go back to it?
Yes. That's what I was going to say, Bull. Absolutely, brother.
test sites, they've got mirrors on the sun, and they're calculating sun angle position instantly all the time.
Wait a minute.
As soon as
Did
the
he
sun comes
literally
into position,
say mirrors on the sun?
Yes,
He did, didn't he? He said mirrors on the sun.
I have been told that on these test sites, they've got mirrors on the sun, and they're calculating sun angle position instantly all the time. And as soon as the sun comes into position, it's passing.
Hang on. Is he saying mirrors pointed at the sun? Is he just saying it in a goofy way?
And that's the final relative motion between the two things that sets that off, that makes everything fly apart. It's all those different motions all mixed up together, and everything comes to bits. So if you think about that logically, it was all right during the last war for
something
Hiroshima
we're not
and Nagasaki,
capable of.
because nobody else knew this. So it didn't matter if one side knew, because they could wait for the time and calculate it all in advance and then do it. But if you've got two sides to know, so the Russians and Americans and everybody else, well, each side can pre-calculate where a bomb's got to be, when it's going to go off, up to years ahead. So they've got computers going all the time. You can pre-calculate where it's got to go, the time it's got to go.
Oh, no, no, that's not how this works.
I saw that coming on. like I knew there was going to be a pause right there.
I love the super chat we just got.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
5,000 Korean won. Wait, is this Flat Earth Aussie Jesus when he was young?
No, the answer to that is no, because when Flat Earth Aussie Jesus was young, the only means of communicating was stone tablets.
Oh, well.
Good one, Furball. That was awesome. Awesome. This guy's unbelievable. Blue said it best. Just shoot him.
Yeah. Just put him down.
Hang on. Yeah, just take him out back and shoot him and put him out of our misery.
I'm honestly thinking there's only two possibilities here. This is someone's grandpa that actually worked on the Manhattan Project and has gone deep into Alzheimer's, and they're doing this just to make him feel good. Or the guy's really that fucking crazy.
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Both?
No, he's really that crazy, I think.
Nothing he says makes sense. He does. Two sentences side by side aren't even related to each other.
Yeah, and? Well, keep it. Oh, okay. So, Furball, I have to ask. Did you think the movie Joker that recently came out was actually being told by a reliable third-party narrator?
I didn't like that movie. I'm in the minority on that.
I think we figured out
No,
why.
you're not. Yeah, you're not, though. I wasn't my thing either.
Well, no. So here's the thing. If you go into that movie with no expectations of it being a true origin story and actually recognize that, hey, this is a batshit crazy guy trying to tell us what his life was like before he ended up in Arkham, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's good.
It's like reading One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before you watch it.
Good point.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody here who's read it, but the book is told from the crazy Native American guy's standpoint.
Oh, yes. Right. You're not wrong. Good.
And he's legitimately insane. So there's points where he's describing stuff that's just plain not actually happening.
And you would know, Mr. Novelist, absolutely. I love having somebody that really knows literature around. It's just so handy. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of somebody who doesn't know literature, should we go back to the moron?
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, he can't read because he can't speak. It's got to be the same, right? He just goes, those are cool words. I'm going to put them in this order. Yeah, I like that. It looks pretty.
And before we go back to it, the name is different, but I'm pretty sure that's Unirock in the chat. He just wants to let everyone know that he hasn't plugged his PayPal in a while.
Speaking of which, we got to give 9 o'clock Hero a shout because he keeps slipping in super chats at the end of the credits on purpose, and he does like shh, don't tell anyone or something. So 9 o'clock Hero, you're funny as hell, man. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, and by the way, so I forget who it was. I think it was you, Kevin, who mentioned the missile knows where it is thing.
Yep.
Someone sent it to me on Discord DM, and you know what, Leon? Fuck you. Yeah, I'll probably end up watching it later.
It's some great nonsense.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Poke that stupid.
And the whole thing becomes illogical. It's an illogical war. So at that stage, the only thing they could do about it was to stuff submarines with atomic warheads and have them roaming the oceans. So that if one side was stupid enough to start an illogical war like that, well, they could stand off for 2 months, 3 months, or a week, whatever it was, before they could come up with a time and a place to put one of theirs in to the enemy. So the whole thing is just didn't work. But they've had those submarines anyway roaming the oceans just for colours. But if you, again, read the records, you'll find that actually in the Auckland Star in New Zealand, there was half a page story about these submarines, and they actually cruised from geometry point to geometry point around the oceans. And they've got to be at those points at certain times all the time. Well, if you think logically about that, the reason we
got to stop this. We got to stop this there. We got to stop this there. Oh. Okay. Fucking hell. I mean, does this guy honestly think that if one side pops one off, the other side's going to wait 2 weeks for the sun to be in the right position before they respond? Fuck you. Retaliation will be instantaneous.
No, there's a reason why the stance that was taken by both by actually still all superpowers when it comes to nuclear arms is what's called mutually assured destruction. Yes. Yeah, it was mad because it was a fucking crazy idea to begin with, but also it worked.
God almighty. Can you imagine how bad daylight savings time could have fucked up this plan? Oh shit! Who forgot to reset the damn clock? Oh god damn! We got to wait another 2 weeks.
Oh fuck, man! Wait! We got to adjust for GMT.
We fucking missed it.
We forgot the leap seconds. Damn it!
That's right. Oh fuck! It's a leap year. We're all messed up.
I just got to say really quickly, Bull, before you start the video playing again, you need to just show the freeze frame that you paused on because it's kind of amazing.
Wow.
Picture taken.
Metal.
Picture taken. Saving.
So here I actually have a question for the live chat for Jay Brown. Shall I share that link with Bullinator for him to play right now? Because oh boy, is it apt.
Is it more coherent than what we're watching now?
Extremely.
Which isn't really saying much because I don't know if I've ever really watched anything this
incoherent.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't want us to ruin it. All right, fine. You'll get to see the clip on Jay Brown's stream after this.
Awesome. Gonna have to go over there and check that out.
Okay, sorry, back. I had to ditch there for a second.
Should we start?
Did I miss anything stupid? Oh, it looks like Aimee. It looks
Do
like
you really
Amy's
need to ask?
Yeah. Does Aimee need to get in still?
Yes, please, I do, if I can.
Okay.
I've got some good things in from the chat. The Casual Spaceman says, I lived in West Berlin during the height of the Cold War. I guess was no point learning duck and cover, seeing as West Berlin was at the heart of Soviet-held East Germany. Maybe I was safe, kinda. Conspiratard says they goofed on the cooling, but the control rod tips had a coating which accelerated the reaction. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties says, I'm sure if we took every word this guy says and jumbled them up randomly, it would be way more scientific. The casual spaceman says, mirrors on the sun? What the actual fucking all things that make any sense is he talking about? Mike Bertelson says, and Roger Rabbit were talking about 3 Mile Island, and he says it was a partial meltdown due to loss of coolant because of a stuck open relief valve. There was a small hydrogen explosion in containment building, though. Linda Bertelson says, look, the camera angle changed. And she says, I was on one of those submarines. 9 o'clock Hero said, phew, that was close. Luckily, the missus had her headphones on. And I like this next one. This is funny. Mike Bertelson says, all I can say is, ah! Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties says, I love how radiation gives people superpowers in the USA but makes monsters in Japan. Almost like we have complete opposite views on the subject. And Daniel
I wonder
It makes
why.
idiots in Australia.
And Daniel Cooper says, wait until this guy learns about sidereal days.
Well, and actually, speaking of that difference between how Japan and the U.S. looks at the effects of extreme radiation, I am not kidding. In 2007, when I was still in Japan on the Kitty Hawk, there were protesters at every Japanese port that we pulled into protesting the U.S. Navy because the U.S. was replacing the conventionally powered oil-fired boiler USS Kitty Hawk with a nuclear-powered USS George Washington at the time. And a lot of the Japanese thought nuclear aircraft carrier meant nuclear weapons.
Of course they did.
Exactly.
Of course they did.
Not quite.
Well, yeah. Jared, I've got one question for you. So you were on the Kitty Hawk when it went nuclear. Have you had any children since then?
Actually, yeah. And it was the son.
How many ears does he have?
We're not talking about that. just because he has quadruple hearing doesn't mean you can bring that up.
I think our resident Godzilla expert wants to get in backtrack a second here. Kevin?
Well, just because Godzilla was brought up, I just want to say, like, if anyone hasn't seen the original 1954 Godzilla, give it a watch because, you know, goofy special effects aside, that is a hell of a movie with a hell of a message. Like, there's a point when they're just doing shots of all of the destruction that Godzilla's caused where they stop using miniatures and all of a sudden they use a couple shots that are straight up just post-Hiroshima. And it's really jarring. And in addition to that, the big plot point of that movie ends up becoming they figure out a way to kill Godzilla using something called the oxygen destroyer that's going to take out all of the oxygen in Tokyo Bay. And the big conflict becomes, do we stoop to the same levels of horror and atrocity to destroy something that was created by horror and atrocity? It's a really, really great movie. That's all. I just want to plug Godzilla because that's an amazing fucking movie. And I've been reviewing every one of those movies on my other channel, and I'm going to put out a new one on the DKish channel pretty soon.
If it had been made by Americans, then the answer to that last question would have been yes. Fuck them.
True.
Well, I mean, not to spoil it, but they do end up using it, but everybody feels like shit about it. I'll give them that.
Well, what is it that Oppenheimer said?
I am the destroyer of worlds.
Destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Sean Carroll is correct. The oxygen destroyer did create a bigger problem much later in the series. I don't want to spoil that, though.
Oh, no, don't. Absolutely.
Well, destroying oxygen sounds like a really bad idea for people that need oxygen to live anyway. Just saying. It might have something to do with it.
blue-green algae might be liking it, but it's not working for me.
Yeah,
A lack of oxygen kills brain cells. And if we were to take away all the oxygen from the earth, the only people that would be left would be flat earthers because they don't have it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, here, let me just look here. We're at 112. We do have to wrap for the 130 mark to make sure that we can toss over to Thoughts by Jay Brown for Logical's appearance because, oh, yeah, they found some stupid and they're slapping it. And I know that Jared wants to watch that as much as I do.
Oh, the dulcet tones of Logical and Jay Brown and whoever else shows up is what's going to put me to sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. Actually, let's get that link back in the chat here. I'll serve that up in a second. But should we play a bit more video then and see if we can't, maybe let them run just a little bit so we can load up and
real quick, I gotta read this one out from Chris Katsolis. Blue green algae would be liking it.
Nerd joke.
I like it though.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So if you've got to hit here, you've got to be here. You can't be just anywhere when you fire it. You've got to be at a certain point so that the parabolic arc will make the missile hit the other point at the right time. Again, you have to have pretty precise timing. I would betting that if they started a war, probably most of those missiles would miss because they wouldn't be accurate enough to get here right at an instant of time to make it go off properly. You'd probably have a lot of duds, I'd say. So what do they do next? They have multi-warhead missiles. And I think the reason for that is not to hit 10 targets at once, so make sure that one of those out of the 10 are going to do the job.
No, pause.
So,
pause. No. MIRVs, multiple independent re-entry vehicles are a thing because, yes, you can launch one ballistic missile and hit up to 12 individual targets.
He's honestly saying that if you don't launch the missile at the exact right time because of whatever voodoo magic, it will be a dud. That's why
not necessarily a dud. Not necessarily a dud, but you'll miss the target.
That's ridiculous.
Because of the timing.
Well, and technically it's not wrong, but it's not right for what he is saying. Because if your timing is off and your trajectory is off...
No, you said
the
timing.
rotation.
You don't get to add trajectory into that.
No, if your trajectory is off due to timing because of the rotation of the Earth, then you may miss. It has fuck all to do with what he's actually trying to say.
The sun's in the wrong spot, so you've got to wait another 13 hours until you can launch because of reasons.
That's basically what he's saying.
Gotta love those reasons.
I prefer the crystal clear raisins.
That's a good one. Well, shall we play a bit more then?
Okay.
it appears to me that the whole atomic sphere and everything around the world has been used as a political weapon only. They've used that political part of the atomic sort of process to keep the public in order and scare you. So what we don't do, we're going to annihilate you.
No.
Ever since I found this out, well, I've had no worries about
absolutely not. But
no, he's right. I was going to
pause.
Even start
Keep the public in order.
Now they've got to the stage where they've got all the
Can I just
conventional
say,
weapons if they want them, so they're going to dismantle now the atomic warheads.
Imminent death,
They never use them,
I
they don't want
think,
them.
is going to convince
Just a waste of
people
money.
that they can
If we
just
knew
go
it,
do whatever.
Probably a lot of that stuff's
Because
coming
fuck it,
now.
we're all going to die soon.
They've got enough there to do the job. And
Did somebody miss the pause
so
call
the
here?
sense it lasts and
It wasn't needed.
That's
Okay, never mind.
No,
I fucked it up then. It was me. Damn it.
It's all your fault, Dick.
All good.
Oh, this guy is I mean, the only thing I can think at this time is that he's actually referring to that comedy movie from like 1980-ish, The Nude Bomb, because he knows nothing about any other kind of bomb.
No kidding. This guy.
He's an
this guy's
idiot.
He's a poster child for painfully stupid.
Yeah, like Jared said earlier, get this man a sign. Fuck me. It better say
Astronomy
stupid.
Live? Astronomy Live's got an interesting question, specifically about whether the rockets are using star trackers. I don't know enough about rockets to whether they use star trackers to actually navigate. I wouldn't imagine that's the case.
Hell no.
No, ballistic missiles are actually using GPS.
Before GPS.
Inertial
INS.
Inertial
Yeah, I would say it'd be inertial navigation and then timing.
Well, timing is part of inertial nav, but the biggest thing is you actually program in, we are at this location. So that's what the INS has as its reference point when it starts off. So then with its own internal accelerometers and everything, it knows its orientation, its relative velocity, its acceleration. It does all its own calculations to be like, okay, I was here, I'm moving in this way, I need to go here.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that at any time they would use star navigation, or star maps as their navigation, because it's so unpredictable of launch time. But it is a good question. Before pre-GPS, what are you using as your navigation? Mechanism.
For a guided munition like that, the first step was INS, was the inertial navigation systems.
Ah. Well, it would make sense because you just toss a gyroscope in there and monitor what's going on, kind of, right?
Yep.
That makes sense to me.
So Astronomy Live, the original INSs actually were not based off of gyros. They were actually based off of a suspended weight, like an actual static weight that would then shift in an orientation, and that drift of it would actually be measured and give the acceleration and vector inputs.
That sounds too simple.
It was the 1950s.
True.
Yeah, there's a point there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Boole, how much time we got on this video? Can you tell over on your end there?
It looks like we've got, well, let me make it a little bit
3 minutes
bigger.
left.
3 minutes, yeah. Thereabouts.
Well, why don't we let the 3 minutes run, and then we can all get our shit in, and we'll be able to wrap on time to turn to Jay Brown for what is going to be excellent viewing.
Sounds like a plan. Here we go.
Okay.
No pause.
Don't hold back. Comment. Yeah, don't comment while it plays, but we're going to let her go. You know, we're going to do that mad rush to the end. And everybody get your oven mitts ready. Holy fuck, it's coming.
This is nothing that amazed me. This when I published the factors, I knew them in one of the books.
Like we can read any of that
It's only going to be a matter of weeks when the book comes out, when somebody's going to write to me and say, now what about Hiroshima? How did they do that? And I was a bit worried because I didn't know how to work it out. And mainly because I didn't have the information. What I needed was the exact position of the sun at the time.
It means you were lazy.
And I couldn't get hold of any tables that told me. And eventually, not too long ago, I've got a friend in the United States, and he sent me computer readouts of every bomb test from 1945 up to 1989. I've got the whole series with the time position, sun position, and everything. So I eventually got hold of the actual position of the sun for Hiroshima. And as you see there, when you work it out, well, the distance from the sun to Hiroshima at the time of detonation was at 3361 point so minutes of arc. Now you do that process again with a 6 to hit the harmonic, and the square root of that, which is the same process you do in the unified equation when you take the square root to get 2694444. This is the answer to the unified equation. In other words, I'd hit it right on the button. And the actual, if you take this,
the unified equation
from this point to that point, which actually is a part of a great circle. I've just shown it as a straight line there, just diagrammatically. Well, that one gives you 16944, the old figure again. That's the harmonic that's right on the middle of the table between the electromagnetic situation of the Earth and gravity. The
Well, I got a
Vertical one
wonderful
is
idea.
two, two,
Let's
six,
go
nine,
ahead
four,
and
four. I'm
hijack
not quite sure how that works.
the
I haven't
Dragon
got
crew
it strange,
capsule
but the actual
and try to send
two,
this
six,
guy
nine,
to
four,
the
four
sun
figure
so
is
he
there.
could really find out what it's
So
like there.
at last I found
I agree.
It's just mirrors there, though.
at Hiroshima.
Hey, he could find
tried
out.
Nagasaki. That's a bit of a confusing one because those two bombs are two different bombs. One was plutonium, and the other one was uranium. And Hiroshima
No.
came out fairly well.
No, they were both uranium. They were both uranium. They were different methods
I'm
of
waiting till I've
No,
activated
one was
the
plutonium.
information.
One was
But I know
plutonium.
I'll crack that one too.
Yeah,
eventually.
Nagasaki was plutonium.
I've also checked the first
That
bomb
was
test
U-
and Bordeaux,
235.
and the harmonics
Yeah,
are
they
showing up
didn't
there,
have
which have to be anyway.
uranium to do both
That one,
bombs.
again, is a wee bit different to this
Oh.
one. This is a straightforward one to work out. But there's so many parameters. The unified
good, he's
equation can be
almost
set up in
done.
so many different ways geometrically. And I only know
Thank
just
all
enough
that
to know
is
the
fucking
secret.
good and true in the world.
All right, over, done.
Oh, thank
Fucking
God.
hell.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't think it would fit, but I'm going to try, and I'm willing to be
No.
the one to do it, but I will stuff that whiteboard so far up his ass it's not funny. That was bullshit.
You know, you can play with his black hole all you want.
Shit.
Too funny.
Absolutely.
But that was straight from the balloon knot and into the bowl. That was horrible.
No, because bullshit's more edible than what he just gave us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Poor Mike Bertelson's in the chat, literally just dying. Like, oh man, that poor. I feel so sorry for him right now. Poor Mike. Poor Mike.
We may have found patient zero for Flurpees.
I'm thinking so. Like literally, he just wrote the rule book before it was needed or wanted or something I want to destroy. You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, this fucker might be where it all started.
Could be.
That definitely, it should have his picture beside the word salad in Webster's. Absolutely.
His sentences have just the right ratio of proper grammar and percentage of words that sound intelligent to make you think he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, like somebody like Pratt would have just been in awe of this guy. You know, absolutely.
Of course, he would have he would have worshipped him because after all, he's got a pocket protector.
Yeah, and those Coke bottle eyeglasses too. Man, you could start a forest fire with those fucking things.
Yeah, do you see how thick those are?
Holy shit!
Holy mackerel!
And we confirmed
right.
that there's at least 2 people in the audience because there were 2 camera angles.
Yep.
That's debatable.
Or he's got editing
Guys-
software.
Casual Spaceman says to AT2 Productions, don't you dare waste a perfectly good Dragon spacecraft by sending it to the sun for this fuck knuckle. I heard you, Jared.
They just blew one up for the fuck of it. Kinda.
For the fuck of it, kinda.
No, admit it. That sort of practical test, yes, there is a reason behind it, making sure that the systems actually work. But no. I'm an engineer type. I know when we get to do tests like that, part of it is just, I want to see what happens when it fails.
Well,
Honestly,
I mean,
Jared,
they didn't really
Jared-
need to blow up a booster to do it, right? It's just a matter of knowing that it's going to work at the right time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that previous tests of the escape system did not involve a full first stage. It was a
Again.
mock-up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, sometimes you just do it because you can. Like think about the first the test of the Falcon Heavy. Did Musk have to put his roadster on there? No, it could have just been a chunk of concrete. But no, he decided to go, nah, put my car in there.
And did he really have to put a copy of the Hitchhiker's Guide to Get to the Galaxy and a towel in the glove box?
Yes.
Absolutely. We all know it is not a proper engineering test if it doesn't involve at least a shotgun or something that will seriously go kaboom.
And alcohol.
Yeah, and
You
alcohol.
You guys know the difference between messing around and science, right?
Well, yeah. Why do you think
Science, you write shit down afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Taking notes.
So, Furball, I think you forgot what one of the responsibilities I have in this new job is. I'm one of the factory acceptance testers.
Ooh.
So I get to try to make it fail.
Yeah, you get to break all kinds of shit, don't you?
Your job is
that guy
breaking
the rest
shit.
of the shop floor hates.
His entire job
You're like the
consists of
Daffy Duck
breaking.
cartoon, hey, where he's just banging the bombs with the hammer. Dink, 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 kaboom.
Oh.
I got a T-shirt you need, Jared. I had back in the day. I love that T-shirt. It says, "I drink beer and break shit."
I've got one that says I've got one that says I void warranties.
Yeah, oh, I love it.
Yep. Guilty.
Yep, that's me. Everything I buy gets taken apart right away. Absolutely.
Ash Scott says that Tesla is in its natural environment. There are more recharge points in space than on Earth. It's true. It's true. But here's the thing.
True.
Like, that is now the rarest car. The only thing that would make it more rare is if they actually picked it up on the way back from Mars. That would be fucking cool.
That would be cool, man.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm just checking the time here, guys. We're at 1:29, so we better wrap up quick so we can get over to Thoughts by Jay Brown, because we don't want to fuck this up. I'll get in a lot of trouble because I told them that we would do it right. So I don't want to be that guy. So let's go around the room.
It's his fault if he believed you.
Yeah, well, there is a point to be had there, because I don't get anything right when it comes to this stuff. You know, I try, but hell, you got to fail at something in life, and it might as well be this.
Failure is always an option.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I love it. So let's get Big Blue in here. What do you got to say to this piece of work?
Well, all I can say is thank God I misplaced my CIA-supplied cyanide capsule, because after watching that shit, I might be tempted to use that thing.
It's hard to be a shilling type in this day and age, isn't it? Death is stalking you from every corner. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's see. Jared, what do you got for us there, buddy?
Oh, I have to agree with Chucky McNubbin. No one wants to be that guy. He's an idiot.
Ding! Absolutely. There it is. Good show, Aimee. Good show. Awesome.
Thank you.
What about yourself there, Kevin Kennedy? You want to throw a wrap up on this freaking moron?
That guy had nothing to say. A big welcome home to BM Furball. That's all I got.
Awesome. Good shout. Good shout. And we didn't get to go to that other anti-vax video, so we'll be getting to that soon, everybody. And, Aimee, don't you worry. We'll get to yell and scream at that guy for sure.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. Steven Cupareason, buddy. What do you want to drop on this moron?
Well, all I got to say is if this guy was at a gas station in the States in the 50s, he'd be the one saying, $2 a hot test and a coontail on the arrow make the car go real fast.
I love it. I love it. What about yourself, Aimee? What do you want to drop on this guy?
Oh my God. Word salad describes it to a T.
Oh,
He's a
it
dub.
does indeed. It's awful, eh? Awful. Hey, Boole, what do you got? What do you got for everybody before we close it out here?
Well, other than the fact that this is the movie I thought we were watching on Saturday.
My fault. Oops.
Which is why I researched, I was looking at all the Chernobyl stuff and all that stuff, because it was like, there's plenty of examples of nuclear disasters out there that have fuck all to do with anything with the sun, and nothing nuclear that does. So get fucked, buddy.
I love it. And the man we welcome back tonight, the guest of honor, BM Furball. Hey, thank you so much for getting back to the... Yeah, man, I can't believe it's good. So good to have you back. This is awesome.
It's great to be back. Thank you guys so much for the warm welcome back into the community. And 3 quick points. 1, this guy is the reason we have straitjackets. 2, it honestly feels like we just played a game of Scrabble in a foreign language. And 3, Jared, I see you behind me breathing down my neck. Please don't stop.
Jared's getting that point home, is he?
And if I could just quickly interject there, Dick, we can't end this stream without giving little Riley her favorite thing.
Oh, that's right. Ready? No.
Okay, your turn. No.
All right.
Absolute fuck.
Oh, that's awesome. So we got in the Del Cows. We got in an absolute moron, and we got in an absolute fantastic panel tonight. Thanks to everybody who joined us. Thanks to our members and Patreons and subscribers and everybody who helps make this a possibility. You guys are amazing. And remember, pseudoscience is a disease that can infect your fucking mind. You've got to get yourself vaccinated and save your life at all costs. Get to a library and read a book. It could seriously change your life. On that note, we're the Shills celebrating BM Furball's return, and we're out of here. Let's say goodnight, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, John Robb.
Have a good night.